You are looking at the RWD Fenix P30 It's an LMP1 class car that first came to us in 2013 and boasted impressive performance figures like 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds and a top speed of around 340 kilometers per hour. Its flat-six engine produced 600 horsepower and the vehicle weighed in at just 900 kilograms. Most notably, the car utilized a pneumatic system connected to the engine that helped overcome turbo lag. This was a no-nonsense race car with impressive technology, but most people have never heard of it. That's probably because it never existed in the real world. I'm Mike for Sim Racing 604, and today we're going to take a trip through the brief but interesting history of the Fenix P30. The RWD Fenix P30 LMP1 first arrived in the virtual racing space in 2013's Project Cars. For those not aware, the Cars name in Project Cars was actually an acronym. Slightly Mad Studios planned to engage the sim racing community in the development to their title, so CARS stood for Community Assisted Racing Simulator. Community members contributed on several fronts, including the contribution of content like the Fenix P30 and its LMP2 brother, the P24. The creator of the cars goes by Ryno 917, and he gave us two of the best cars in the title. These fictitious Fenix brand cars were even brought back for Project Cars 2. And for those who didn't follow the history of the Project Cars series, it's traveled a bumpy road to say the least. The original title straddled the line between simulator and game. Project Cars 2 was promised to be a genre-changing simulator, but it too fell short of being embraced by the sim racing community at large. Then we were promised that Project Cars 3 would be 200% better than PC2, but it became one of the biggest disappointments in recent racing game history. And sadly, the third installment did not include the Fenix brand. So in addition to leaving a permanent scar on the Slightly Mad Studios brand, it also brought an unfortunate end to Ryno's excellent LMP cars. That is, until a few weeks ago. Ryno partnered with Chem Flummi and released two cars for Assetto Corsa for free via Race Department. The team even got the Slightly Mad team's permission to port the car, so this is not some cheap rip, this is the real deal. Ryno even brought a road-going car to add to the Fenix lineup at Race Department, which I hope to cover in another video, but today I'm going to relive the history of the Fenix P30 LMP1 by driving the car in all three titles. This is an excellent car and thankfully not only survived the end of the Project Cars series, but now thrives again in a title that's widely loved by the sim racing community. Let's get out on track. Okay, so we'll start our journey off here in the original. This is Project Cars 1, and we're here at Imola at 5 o'clock. Whoa, I haven't driven this sim in a very long time. And boy, this brings back memories. This was one of the sims that really got me into sort of the new wave of racing sims, shall we say. I have mostly good things to say about Project Cars 1. I ran the career mode and kind of worked my way up through the various racing classes in this title and thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's a fun little title. I will say the car feels floaty. By the standards of today's racing sims. Granted, I'm running a direct drive wheel by a company called Moza that was not even dreamt of when this was released, so I wouldn't expect it to sort of be optimized for modern wheelbases. So we will ignore that and just try to focus on the physics. And it's a fun little title. It's a fun little title. And actually the visuals hold up quite nicely. Ooh, that was interesting. Just kind of lost all inertia of the car. It just kind of felt weightless all of a sudden. Anyway, it sounds like I'm moaning, but I'm actually not. I'm actually quite impressed with how this looks overall and feels to drive. It's definitely quirky, but yeah, fun little title. Whoa, managed to recover a slide there. The back end tried to kick out and I got it back, so credit to the title there. Alright, let's turn a serious lap here. I think this is the start-finish line right there. There we go. Clock is on. Actually, I think you guys won't be able to see that. Whoa. That was too much. The brakes here in Project Cars, not what I expected. We'll have to go for another lap after this. And yeah, the car just has this interesting inertia. I can't explain it beyond the car just all of a sudden will feel super light or something like that. It doesn't really feel like it has substance versus the road. It just kind of reacts to the inputs oddly. It's sliding across there. You can tell the car has weight, because I mean, it was forced into a slide there when it came in slightly too hot for that corner. But let's see what happens here. Yeah, it's quirky. It's quirky. But granted, it's been so many years since I drove this that I can't expect it to feel perfect to me. Trying not to lock into the chicane here. And back on to the power. Minute 7-ish gone by. And braking hard downhill. Alright, let's try again for a clean lap here. Whoa. Come on, let's go, baby. And it's interesting to think this was like basically in development at the same time as Assetto Corsa. But Assetto Corsa has just had so much community support over the years that it's been left in a place where it's much more modern looking and feeling. Whew, that was interesting. Down to second gear there because I had problems with that chicane last time. Yeah, I would say this feels a little bit less intuitive than most of the modern sims. It's hard for me to get a clean lap here. Not that I'm the best driver, but it's just hard for me to successfully navigate corners in this title. I guess maybe braking a bit earlier might be key, because that one felt a lot cleaner than the previous lap. Maybe the tires are also just kind of coming into temperature. Come on. Yeah, just, I don't know, I can't explain it beyond the inertia physics feel weird, like that feels strange, like, I don't know. I'm sure there are those who will argue with me that the physics are perfect in Project Cars, and that may be the case, maybe it's my interpretation, but it just kind of feels odd. But, just the same, feels pretty good for a title now 10 years old, and as I say, one of the sort of formative racing sims for me. After I graduated from like the Gran Turismos of the world. Alright, we're a bit slow on that, down 2/10. So trying braking earlier to keep some clean lines, but I just cannot seem to master the feel of this car. Whoa. Whew. Not sure how I stayed alive on that one. And you can hear, can you hear that? You might be able to hear it under my voice, but the tires are just in a constant scrape. Oh, first gear apparently was not the way to go there. Definitely slow. Down a half a second. So it's not the tires. It's not as if the tires are coming into their own and I'm getting faster. I just can't drive in Project Cars. That's all there is to it. You can hear those pneumatics at work. That's a pretty cool sensation, or a pretty cool sound. Overcoming the turbo lag here in Project Cars. Oh. Alright, we are... No, I was going to say we are ahead, but that's not true. Yeah, we're down 7/10 actually. I looked at the clock, but I was on a different part of the track last time I checked the clock. Alright, can we put in one clean lap here, or am I doomed to just perpetually stink at Project Cars? Alright, this will be the final lap no matter what. 3, 2, 1, go. Down 8/10 there. Ugh, ugly Mike. I cannot hit an apex in this game. There's so much, like, ugh. I don't know. I'm not convinced here. 7/10. At least I'm consistently bad. It seems to be, the time seems to be slipping at a consistent rate. I just can't seem to hook up a lap here. Every time I think I understand the physics, something new gets thrown at me. And yeah, there's a bit of turbo lag there, which is surprising with that pneumatic system, but still there. Oh, see, that just launched the car. Ugh, I don't know. Weird. Oh, better sector there, up 4/10. Alright, let's try and push our braking zones here. We'll just do a throwaway lap. It doesn't really seem like I'm going to be able to get any better here in Project Cars 1. So let me push a bit, see if I can extract some time just by sheer aggression. 1:35.502 was the time there. Maybe should have been in second gear. That's so weird how the curbs kick you sideways in this game. Just very unnatural feeling from what I'm used to. Again, could be me. Come on, Mike, hold on. Alright, let's see how we're doing for time. There we go, up 4/10, up a Studio 397. How about that? Later braking here. This is gonna be dangerous. Yeah, anytime where you would like normally take curbs really aggressive is difficult in Project Cars because you know some weird stuff's about to pop off. Just sliding my way into this turn. Oh, go, 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 go. You just can't carry momentum in this title. Alright, 7/10 up. I'm gonna have to take this lap no matter what. So, it's not a confidence-inspiring car, and yet aggression is the key to speed in this thing, apparently. Alright, let's see. What are we going to cross the line at? Let's see. 1:34.111. Alright, I am going to take it. So, let's jump over to the next title. Alright, so here we are in Project Cars 2. And boy, does this take me back. The sounds, the voiceover in the background, whoa, the terrible driving. It's all part and parcel with my experience with this title. What, 5 years ago-ish was when I kind of peaked with PC2. It was actually instrumental in building this channel. I would do videos of updates of the title, and yeah, the viewership was awesome. So yeah, without Project Cars 2, there's really no Sim Racing 604, so I'm eternally grateful for this title. But with that said, man, time has not been kind to this title in terms of its handling. It's just kind of this floaty feeling, and there are cars in this title that I would absolutely go to bat for, like that. I can't remember the year of it, but the old school Aston Martin in this car, absolutely phenomenal. They released a Ferrari DLC pack toward the end, and that Speciale A was fantastic. But cars like this and like the GT3 cars, you realize it's just not on the level in those titles of excuse me, it's not on the level of many other titles when it comes to those car classes. But with that said, the focus here is this LMP1. Just weird stuff like that with the physics. But let's see if we can put in a decent lap here. And the sounds are weird. Oh boy, it sounded like it was lagging there. So that distinct pneumatic sound is kind of buried behind the usual hiss of this game. And yeah, just not feeling connected here with the car hardly at all. This game did so many things right, or this sim, however you want to treat it, Simcade, did so many things right. But yeah, definitely some lingering gremlins in the physics. So what was I in the in Project Cars? Like a 134? Is that right? So we'll see if we can beat that here. This has not been a good lap per se. I guess what I should have done is re-downloaded the force feedback files. I know there was a bunch. I can't remember who used to make them, but you could download third-party force feedback files, which would clean it up. There is native support of my Moza R16 for this game, so we should be getting decent feeling force feedback, and it's okay. But it's just the strange physics. I would say it's an improvement over Project Cars 1 now that the car is kind of coming up to temperature. I didn't really check the tire gauge. Maybe you leave the pits at temperature, but yeah, it could be placebo, could be me just sort of getting used to the title, but it is feeling a little more sort of calm and predictable at this point, but not exactly inspiring. And yeah, just weird stuff like that where you don't feel confident at all. You don't feel like you can push the car or yourself to get faster. Just randomly dropped a fulcrum there and spun around that corner. Man, I cannot drive. How are we doing? 129 voided on the previous lap, so I'm way faster in PC2. Or the car is performing different, I'm not sure which. I could definitely carry more speed through that complex. And yeah, times like this, like coming up the hill, that felt really good actually. I think it's the low to medium speed corners where, again, there's just some weird inertia with the cars. But yeah, I mean, how cool is it that we can go back and look at this fictional car that you know, we had in Project Cars 1, carried over to this game, Project Cars 2, and then we now have it again in Assetto Corsa, which I will drive not right now. I'm going to go one more lap here. What was that? A clean 128.8. Like, I don't know. That's weird. There's some weird handling characteristics in this game. Maybe it's just me. Maybe when we get to Assetto Corsa, we'll see that the truth all along was that Sim Racing 604 just can't drive. I'm not ruling that out. Look at how much faster I am in this car. Up 9/10. See, that was a decent corner there. The like medium speed stuff to the high speed stuff feels pretty good. It's the low to medium that feels kind of weird. Oh, really? You are cruel. Yeah, just way faster here. Yeah, I cannot run a clean lap. This just doesn't feel intuitive to me with these sims I drive nowadays. You know, mostly AMS2, Assetto Corsa, some ACC. Yeah, it just doesn't feel the same. All right, let's jump over it. Let's finally test that cool new mod. All right, guys, so time to try out the big boy. This is the mod for Assetto Corsa, courtesy of Chem Flummi and Ryno. And right away, there's just this sense of connection, and the car feels heavy. The force feedback feels detailed. You can feel what the tires are doing underneath you. This just plays in a different league, and I didn't set out in this video to make this a Project Cars hate video, because I have a lot of respect for PC and PC2, but they're not batting in the same league as this. This is incredible. It feels so good. It's like a breath of fresh air. I think I take Assetto Corsa for granted, and then you go back and play Project Cars 2, you know, on a level playing field, and it's like, oh, right, Assetto Corsa just goes places that title cannot. And, yeah, you know, you could make the case, certainly, that, you know, for one, the development stopped a lot of years ago, and for the other, you know, there's still refinements being made and improvements being made by the community. So, you know, it's not a level playing field as such. But just the same, you know, we have the same sort of physics, the same car, the same track going head to head. And yeah, it's a level beyond, shall we say. But you know what? Comparisons notwithstanding, even if we were just, you know, talking about the mod itself, even if this didn't have the history that the Fenix does, it's a phenomenal mod. It feels great. It does feel heavy. I tend to lose it in corners a little bit. But broadly speaking, I mean, the sense of connection you have with this car is just next level. And, you know, you can feel the car loading up with downforce, and you can feel the tires sliding underneath you. And, you know, the cars carry inertia through the corners. And, yeah, it's just, it's better. It's better. And again, even if I wasn't sort of comparing between titles, I would recommend strongly that you get this mod. They have absolutely nailed it, as Chem Flummi and Ryno. Whoop, ran a bit wide there, that's okay. You guys aren't here to witness great driving, that's for sure. If you are, you're in the wrong spot, I am sorry to tell you. You can hear the pneumatics at work. I'll let the sounds run here. So yeah, just sounds better, looks better, drives better. Everything is better in the world of Assetto Corsa. But just the same, you know, thanks is due to Ryno for the work on this car back in the day, and you know, for giving me permission to port this to Assetto Corsa. Physics intact, I mean, that's cool. And we could even say it's been given a proper home, perhaps. Perhaps this car all along deserved better. And now we have it. Now you guys get to enjoy it for free, no less. But be sure to drop a like or a comment if you do go get this car. I find that a lot of the mods I recommend, I go in race department, and sometimes they still sit at very few comments and people aren't liking it. Yeah, if you do enjoy any of these mods that I recommend, I would ask that you, if you get a chance, just click the like. Let them know you appreciate what they do. Drop a comment. You can even most times buy them a coffee. There's usually a click to donate button at the top. Alright, so how am I doing for time? Not great. I think this is going to come in somewhere in between Project Cars 1 and 2 in terms of lap time. I think I'm going to run probably a 130 or a 131 here. Whoa, not now I won't. Yeah, there is that mid-corner understeer of this car that keeps catching me out. 129? Yeah, just under 130. So let's see if we can improve upon that slightly here on the last lap. Yeah, the feeling of this car, wow, it's so good. The way it bounces over curbs and, you know, finds its traction again. Absolutely phenomenal. Feeling heavy through the corner on that hairpin. And again, that understeer trying to push me to the outside of that corner. Up into the chicane here. Need to be careful. This car will lock up if you hit the brakes too hard. I think I'm a little bit ahead on time here. Might be able to crack below 129, get around there. Phew. Alright, what have we done here? This is the 128, I believe. Good stuff. I think I will take that. Brilliant mod and a fun trip through history. I know it sounded like I was talking bad about Project Cars the whole time, but I really enjoyed those titles back in the day. But unfortunately, in my opinion, they just cannot hold a candle to Assetto Corsa. This car and this sim is phenomenal and in a league of its own. Well, maybe not a league of its own, but you know what I mean. Over and above Project Cars 1 or 2. All right, this was a fun one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.